Well, it's been an interesting year for Barbara,
Ricky,
Matilda,
and the dogs.
We haven't introduced the dogs yet. This is our first year in review, and it begins right after this. Welcome aboard. I'm Ricky.
And I'm Barbara.
And together we're RV Underway. And if you like our videos and our channel on YouTube, please subscribe, click the like button, click that bell to be notified when new content is available, and do share our videos. We certainly would appreciate it. Also, stick around to the end of this video. We're going to have a contest, and I'm going to give away a $25 Gander RV Camping World gift card. So stick around to the end for that. Well, it's been an interesting year, and I think we should start this video by telling everyone how we met.
We were both stationed in Yokosuka, Japan. You were on the Midway and I was on shore duty, Complete X. As most military bases do, they had several different nightclubs associated with the base, and one of them was a country club, country bar, and we would go and dance. And we did all of the current dances and stuff like that, and we knew the band that was playing, Sounds of Country. They became good friends of ours, and they were with the
USO.
Yep. We were there one weekend. I was dancing like I do a lot, and I'd been on the dance floor for at least a good half hour or so, and I was wore out. So I decided to go back to the table, drink a little bit of adult beverage, and just relax for a few minutes. Well, this tall cowboy came up and asked me to dance, and I was really tired, and I said no. Well, he went back to his table. All his buddies were there, and he was dejected because I had said no, and they were harassing him, and I could see it from across the bar here. They were giving this poor guy a hard time. So after I kind of refreshed up a little bit, I went over, put my arms around his neck, and said, "Hey, cowboy, how about a dance?" That's how we met.
That's your story.
That's the truth.
Here's how it happened. I was supposed to have a date with one of her friends, and she stood me up. I went to the barracks on Yokosuka, the naval base there in Yokosuka, Japan, the female barracks, to pick her up, and she was nowhere around. Later that night, I was dancing with all the girls, as I always do, because I was a very popular cowboy. And there was a long line of girls to dance, you know, and I looked back in the queue, and about 12 or 13 back was this pretty young thing. And so I decided to jump the queue back to 12 or 13 and ask her if she'd dance. And of course, she was just tickled pink and just, you know, couldn't wait to get on the dance floor with me. And the rest is, of course, history. And we've been together for almost 40 years now. And that's how we met. That's the real story of how we met, right?
Sure. You live in your fantasy world. I'll live in the truth.
All right. Another question we get asked a lot is, why did we name our RV Matilda? And that, again, is another sea story of sorts. I was going to Perth, Australia. We were doing an IO cruise. That's an Indian Ocean cruise. And we were in the South Indian Ocean, and we were headed for Perth, Australia. I had been stationed in Australia several years before. Couldn't wait to get to Perth. And when I got to Perth, and we're out in town on Liberty, I decided to write my girlfriend back in Yokosuka, Japan, a letter. And my sense of humor got the best of me. And I said, "Honey, I'm in Perth, Australia, and I've met a sweet little thing named Matilda, and I cannot wait for you to meet her. You have to understand, this is in the days before email, before social media, before cell phones. Mail would take 2-3 weeks, maybe a month." So I sent that letter. Heck, our Liberty call in Perth was over, and we were on our way north. Several weeks later, by the time she got the message, the letter, and I'll just let you pick it up from here.
Well, the letter finally arrived after, I guess, several weeks. Here my boyfriend is talking about meeting some sweet young thing in Australia, which I'm already jealous of because I've never been there. And he wants me to meet her. Well, when the ship pulled in, I was standing on the pier. I was ready.
Oh, she was ready. She was guns loaded, thumb cocked. She was fit to be tied on the pier.
Eventually, he presents this Matilda.
Out of my sea bag.
And she's a stuffed koala bear.
And when you wind her up, she plays Waltzing Matilda. Cute as a button.
Yeah. Almost ended a very good relationship over a stuffed koala bear.
And when we got our RV, I was spending day and night, still do, was spending day and night in the RV, working on this, working on that, doing this, doing that. So she became the other woman. As Matilda was the other woman in our early relationship, Matilda is still the other woman. Let's talk a little bit about remodeling in our first year. Some of the things we have done, we had to make Matilda home. Obviously, when you get an RV, the first thing you're going to do is go through and make it yours. It was kind of dated. The first thing I did was took the front end of it and claimed it, didn't I?
You claimed it. Yes, sir.
And what'd I do with it? The front end, I'm talking about over the driver's section in the nose of the RV, usually where the audio video gear is and where you keep the manuals and the maps, and just some storage area up there, and an old tube type TV and the old VCR, and maybe an early satellite receiver and a video switcher with the push buttons. You know what I'm talking about. It was 1990s, and it needed to be brought up to date.
So I come home from work, and all of that said product is now laying in my driveway. He completely stripped everything out, trying to update her, and he did a good job.
We put a flat screen TV in, and behind the flat screen TV where the old CRT, the tube type TV was, plenty of space in there, because I think it was like a 27-inch tube television, which, as you know, that it's huge. So there was plenty of room there to build shelves, put all the updated DVRs and satellite and everything else in there, as well as some amplifiers and stereo gear. And then the two cabinets that were on the left and right, I went ahead and took those and gutted those and just simply made speaker cabinets out of them with woofers and tweeters and mid-range and crossovers and all that. So there's a huge amount of power, over 1,000 watts in the front end up there, which will drain your 12-volt system. I generally have to be traveling down the road with the alternator going to really crank it up and enjoy it. How about the wallpaper?
Well, the wallpaper, again, it was dated 1999. So the next thing we talked about all the various different things. Should we paint the cabinet? Should we paint the walls? We decided it was easier for us to paint the walls. Now, we tore out all of the carpet. You had to get rid of that first before we could do much. Now, remember, all his stereo systems already in place. We tore out all the carpet. That was quite a job, but well worth it. We put in some vinyl wood planking, and we painted the walls. And the walls we painted a white, kind of a bright white, but it really lightened up the place. And then eventually we replaced all of the blinds, and that made us change out the valances because they no longer fit.
Yeah, the valances had to come out because we put the new blind systems in, but Barbara did a great job reupholstering the valances with a nautical pattern, and they accented the RV real well, but they did have to come out simply because the new blinds and the valances wouldn't work in the same space. But we also put LED lighting throughout the cabin, and we also put LED lighting in the basements as well. So LED lighting throughout, replacing the incandescent 12 volts. And believe me, that cuts down on current draw and makes your 12-volt coach batteries last a lot longer if you're boondocking or something like that. So one of the first things you need to do, if I had to say, what are you going to do first with an older RV? Get the carpet out. For the love of Pete, get the carpet out. That is some nasty stuff. Secondly, 12-volt LEDs throughout the system. Go with the LEDs. And thirdly, something I haven't done yet, but go solar. Get yourself some solar. So that's one of the next things that we plan to do. What else did we do? The dinette.
We took the dinette system out. We already had a table that folded flat against the wall that for just two that we could eat meals with if we're going to eat inside. But most of our meals we do eat outside at the campsite, or like everybody else, we eat off of our laps in front of the TV. So we did that. We got rid of the dinette. We put in a table for him, a computer station where the dinette was. Freed up a lot of space for us, and we really enjoyed it. That was a good move.
Other items were Tupperware.
Plastic containers.
We went with a lot of plastic containers. As a matter of fact, 4 low-profile, big plastic containers. 4 of them fit underneath the jackknife couch, and that's our cupboard. Those 4, they're tall enough to put the large cans in. So we got our canned goods, our dry goods, our candy, snacks, and chips and stuff. And we've got 4 of those, and we know exactly which one to go for. Slide it out, get your items out of it, slide it back under the couch, added a whole lot of space. So if you've got that space underneath your sofa, think about it. A lot of great space under there can be used. And don't forget, a lot of folks don't know you got space under the bed too. In most of the RVs, you lift the mattress up, tons of space under there. Maybe items that you're not going to get to right away, maybe a lot of winter clothing in the summer or summer clothing in the winter, or perhaps items you're just not going to go after on an everyday usage type thing. You can store those underneath your mattress in your, especially in a motorhome. Most of those are set up that way. Let's talk a little bit about where we've been in our first year.
Okay.
Now, we didn't venture out very far. In our first year, I think the farthest we have gone is Pensacola.
And been there twice.
And we've been there twice for 15 to 20 days, I think, total. Mm-hmm. And we have really enjoyed that. We go to a lot of Corps of Engineer parks. And most of our trips have been within 50 miles. We have been to Montgomery. West of Montgomery to an RV park, which was about a 120-mile trek up there and back. About 225 miles over to Pensacola, and we've been down to Seminole, which was about a 75, 80-mile trek down there. But most of our trips have been those type of single day, get there, get set up, enjoy the weekend or the week, and get back. But those have been our trips. Some of our favorites, and we'll start with those, are Corps of Engineer campgrounds. You've heard us say that before, but we can't say enough good things about Corps of Engineer campgrounds. And if you're blessed to have those nearby, do take advantage of them because they do a great job. They're great camps, and we've had nothing but good experiences with those.
We usually stick around Lake Eufaula because we're blessed to have that huge lake right here in our backyard, basically. We've been all around her. They have what they call first come, first serve, or walk-ups.
Walk-ups.
And those are sites that are left open for just that purpose, for first come, first serve, or walk-ups. And you come in, you don't have a reservation, and if they have space available, those are where you go. And some of them tend to be the nicer spots in the whole entire RV park. I've also noticed that they have a great website. The only thing bad about the website possibly is sometimes you can't really determine exactly where the campsite is that you're looking to reserve. And not all spots are available to be reserved. So you have to kind of do a little bit of research. We like going, and after judging how our week has been, maybe we'll go up for the weekend. And that's been very enjoyable, and we don't need a reservation for those. We just really like the Corps of Engineers. They're very clean parks, very well taken care of. We haven't had a bad experience at any of them. People are friendly, nice. We find that if we go more in the summer, we tend to run against older folks, so it's kind of quiet. You go in the fall, it's more of a rowdy crowd.
Sure.
Football games.
Nothing wrong with that either.
Nothing wrong with that.
Just a different kind of fun.
Different kind of fun. But we've enjoyed Corps of Engineer quite a bit. I do encourage you to go to their website and that would be just recreation.gov. That's recreation.gov, and see what's in your area or what's within driving range, because they are great parks. We also have the senior pass. You can get that at the age of 62, and that knocks off almost 50% of your stay. So again, another bonus with Corps of Engineer.
We find that the price with our senior pass at the Corps of Engineer campgrounds have been some of the best values that we've encountered, including military parks with our retirement. They're just a great price and a great value for what you get if you have that senior pass. So do go to get that senior pass and have that the next time you go and visit. I think they're good in state parks as well, Corps of Engineer parks. One of our missions for RV Underway, and we haven't been able to fulfill it as we'd like to our first year, and we're going to do a lot better this second year, is to visit a lot of military camps and give our reviews of those. I've got a review coming out maybe next week on the Pensacola Blue Angel RV Park, which we've had the opportunity to stay at a couple of times this past summer, and we'll review that as well, give you a tour, a visual tour on that. So look forward to that coming out probably in the next week. We want to visit those parks and let you know what they're all about. There was some questions as to who is eligible, and I do have the eligibility, although bases tend to have their own individual requirements. This is generally how it goes. You have to be a military retiree or dependent, a spouse or minor dependent of an active duty service member, a National Guard or reservist, or a minor dependent of a National Guard or reservist, or 100% service-connected disabled veteran. Those are the ones who can use the RV parks on military bases. Again, every base is different, but that's the general guidelines for eligibility. Now, we have been to Pensacola, Naval Air Station, Pensacola. They have an RV park on the main base, and over at Perdido Bay, which is called the Blue Angel RV Park, that's where we stayed twice.
Yes. We also stayed in Destin. That was Maxwell Air Force Base Annex.
Bayside.
Yep. Right
Bayside.
there on the water. It was gorgeous.
It was beautiful. And that was operated by, believe it or not, Gunner Air Force Base, Maxwell Air Force Base in Montgomery, and the Gunner Annex. Although it's down in Destin, very close to Eglin Air Force Base, it's run by the guys up in Montgomery. But again, it was a MWR, which is Morale, Welfare, and Rec. It was a very, very nice camp, not only for RVs, but also they have cabins which you can use. We just had a wonderful time. It was one of the only camps, everything was a pull-through, as I could tell, down there. We didn't have to back in or pull in or maneuver. Everything was a pull-through, and when we pulled through, we were able to face the water. I mean, just pull through right at the beach. So it was one of those campsites where we never closed the privacy curtains up front. We left them open because you got up every morning and the beach was right there. It was beautiful.
Absolutely.
We had Matilda sitting in the front window, spun around, looking out at the beach the whole time we were there. All right, things we've learned in our first year on the road with Matilda.
Don't hit your campsite after dark.
Right, don't pull in to any RV park, if you can avoid it, after dark. Try to plan your trip so that you roll in with, number one, daylight, number two, camp host or facility attendants around. Number one, it's not good camping etiquette to try and roll in at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night and bang and knock around while folks are trying to sleep and you're trying to back in and get set up, and plus it's just hard to do.
Well, also, you shouldn't do it, especially if you're new to your RV, because that's not the time to learn, oh, you can't put this up, or oh, you can't do that, oh, you got to back up 2 or 3 times because you didn't know how far to go back. So you don't want to do all of that stuff in the dark.
Now, we did break that rule
Right from the get-go.
right from the start, and it was kind of tough. So, number one, it's dark. Number two, there's nobody around. And number three, it's just difficult. It's just difficult to do, and it's not the right thing to do. Making all that noise late at night while folks are in there trying to bed down for the night. Also, we learned in our first year not to be afraid of our black tank.
No.
Now we have got family and friends who absolutely do not use the facilities in your RV because you got to deal with the black tank. I have never had a problem.
Now, I will say, the bathroom in our RV is only for the two of us. There's usually one not too far away that your visitors can go to.
Right. If we got folks staying with us, they're gonna go to the facility, and we are too on a lot of occasions. But I have no problem whatsoever of taking care of any business in our RV bathroom, in our water closet. It just, we don't have a problem with it. And a lot of people have a problem with it because they have to deal with the black tank issue. But we have never had a problem. We don't shy away from using our bathroom on the RV. And we certainly don't shy away from pumping our black tanks every time we leave a park. And we've just not had a problem. So we don't fear the black tank on our RV. A lot of people do. I don't see the problem. I haven't had a problem yet, so maybe that's because maybe that's why we don't see the problem.
Less is more.
Less is more. One thing we've discovered now, as opposed to our start a year ago, is that there's a lot of stuff in that RV and a lot of stuff in the basements of that RV that we don't use.
We don't use it, yeah.
And we're going to go through over the next couple of months and start weeding out what it is we don't actually need to carry with us, and start giving stuff away, selling stuff, or just leaving it at the house. And I hate saying leaving it at the house because one of our priorities is to downsize at home, get rid of the sticks and bricks, and hit the road full time. So we're going to give a lot of stuff away. But less is more. I know that when you first get your RV, and like all new RV owners, we hit the internet and we listened to every video and we looked at every checklist of what you had to have and this and that, and we bought and we built and we stowed and we crammed things away. And there's items we have not seen in over a year. We bought a bunch of stuff, tucked it away, never used it.
Okay. Next is technology.
Technology has been challenging at times, but we've never been in a situation where we didn't either have cell phone, a good 2, 3, or 4 bars on our Verizon, or Wi-Fi at the camp, and in some cases cable television at the camp. We have been in a lot of camps where, because of the tree coverage and the thickness, we've not been able to use our satellite. We do have the dish satellite system with the WindGuard satellite antenna, and there's been situations where we couldn't use it. As a matter of fact, Pensacola, we were on the Anchor Cove side of Pensacola, and beautiful in there. But part of the beauty is that it's socked in by trees and a lot of green and a lot of woods, and it was just impossible to shoot a satellite signal from that environment. We've purchased a small MIMO antenna for our hotspot. We have a Verizon hotspot, and we've been able to watch our Netflix. And we've even been able to watch network news.
Well, we did that on the television too, because we got a Roku TV,
right?
Smart TV.
A smart TV. So right there on the TV, if we don't have satellite, we can still watch just about anything we want. And when we do have satellite, we've got all our football games and our news and things that we like to watch. Technology is not proven to be a big issue. I can see down the road that the new Togo is a system out there which allows for almost guaranteed internet at high speeds, and it's something I'm checking into. And I'm going to watch Russ and Carrie at Roads We Roam actively now, because they're installing their Togo, or will be here in the next couple of weeks. And I can't wait to see their review on the Togo system. We've not had a problem with technology. We've been able to enjoy most of everything we want to enjoy. Something else we've learned in our first year of RVing is the people.
Yes.
I have watched YouTube videos, and you probably have too, where there are horror stories. And I don't doubt there are those. But we have never encountered one soul that has given us a hard time in an RV park or on the road in our first year. Not to say that's not going to happen. I can just see, because humanity is humanity, and that's going to happen. But we have had nothing but good encounters with folks in RV parks, whether it be military parks or Corps of Engineer parks or state parks like down at Seminole.
Lots of great advice, just friendly people. They'll leave you alone if you want to be left alone, or they'll include you in whatever activities are going on around the park. So we've not had any problems with any of the people that we've met out at the camps.
We've met some great people.
And we've got some new RV friends and family, and these are people we have not gone camping with yet. We'll share our adventures and our experiences with just friends in our little social groups and stuff, and look forward to having the opportunity to go out with them, because we're like-minded in a lot of things that we like to do. And we have our new little RV family.
We had the opportunity to introduce a couple to an RV. Our getting an RV sparked their interest in something that Joan had always wanted to do, and Mike, he felt he could do it, but then he felt he was too old to do it.
Yeah.
And we're so proud that within the past year, back in July, August, they purchased their first RV, and we have had a wonderful time communicating with them and watching their adventures, and I just think it's great.
Planning trips.
Planning trips is probably something that I deal the very least with. That's all you.
That's pretty much me. I do, like I mentioned earlier, I go to the Corps of Engineer websites, which is rec.gov, recreation.gov, and I'll look at some that are close by or some that look interesting. I did go on to the military campground sites and found the Blue Angels Park in Pensacola, as well as the park we stayed in at Destin. And those I booked a few months in advance. The opening was there, and I wanted to take advantage of being able to really go. And those were our farthest trips. So we have planned those out. But other than going on the websites and checking them out and trying to feel what might be a good fit for us, we really haven't done a lot of planning. We've been fortunate that the places that we've gone to, we haven't required a lot of restrictions as far as height or weight or anything like that. Some of the websites do indicate whether or not those are issues, but we haven't had any yet. We haven't been far, but we haven't had any yet. GPS from your car or on your phone works fine to get us where we need to go.
Google Maps.
Google Maps.
Use that.
We've used that.
There are some great apps out there, and there are some great channels on YouTube. You, Me, and the RV, they do a great video on the apps to use. Not only apps for navigation, but apps for planning, apps for getting your RV ready, just all kinds of apps, and they cover those, so we suggest you go over there. As a matter of fact, right up here, I'll put a link to that You, Me, and the RV video for the various apps you can use when RVing, help you in almost every respect along the way. We haven't, as we said, ventured too far away. None of our trips have been overnight, meaning that our driving hasn't extended from one day into another where we had to stay overnight at a Cracker Barrel or Walmart or Flying J or Pilot. We haven't done that yet, but we may do it. So we've not boondocked or lot docked in Walmart or any of that. All right, let's talk about eating habits.
We eat a lot of sandwiches.
Right.
Meals in the Instapot.
Oh, the Instapot.
Big hit.
Love the
And you can get as fancy or simple as you want, and it's still a very quick meal. We've really enjoyed some recipes that I've been able to find online.
I love them. I love them. And that and the Dutch oven. I love cooking in the Dutch oven outside. Do a lot of that. When we grill, and we always grill, but instead of grilling every day or grilling a couple of times a day, we grill once and we do it big. We grill a bunch of stuff: hot dogs, hamburgers, steaks, maybe some shepherd pies wrapped in tin foil, and just different various meals that we can put on the grill and take care of.
Yep.
And then slip away into the refrigerator, break it out, microwave it, or maybe put it in the convection oven and heat it back up and be ready to go. And that's usually our approach to eating on the road. Again, we have a Bounder which has an RV size fridge. It's not a domestic size fridge, not a big fridge, but we do pretty good.
It's a good size.
We do all right. Yeah.
And then you've got the taste of a grilled meal throughout the whole weekend, and you still free up a lot of time.
That's
so
right.
That's what works for us. Now, we have done it where we've gone camping with family and friends, where we'll potluck the meal or even plan the meal around a certain theme, and everybody cooks something and brings something, and we usually have the big screen TV outside to watch a football game. Those are enjoyable too, and everybody just brings something. So
those are the best. Love those. Love those. Everybody just cooks something or grills something and show up for a game or show up around the campfire with a guitar. Those are the best.
Those are the best.
All right, things we want to do in the coming year.
Well, we want to venture out further.
Maybe do some drives that take a couple of days, that distance away from home. We want to go to the mountains.
Mountains.
Smoky Mountains, Blue Ridge Parkway, Maggie Valley, Silva, Cherokee. I love that area of the mountains. It's beautiful up there in the Smokies. And maybe Harvest Host.
Well, I don't know a lot about the Harvest Host. I've seen a little bit on the videos. Ricky's talked about a couple of places that sound interesting. There's wineries and breweries, farms.
Alpaca farms?
Which reminds me, I have a friend that I was stationed with on the McKee, and she is retired, and she has an alpaca farm. I want to say it's in Virginia. I'm going to find out for sure. Carla, I'm looking for you.
Carla.
It may not be a Harvest Host, but we might have a whole new venture for you.
Boondocking at Carla's Alpaca Farm. That'd be pretty cool. The one I want to go to is, I just read about this one. It's a worm farm. And generally when you go to Harvest Host, there's not a lot of expense involved. Usually you stay and all you need to do is buy a bottle of wine or two or some of the gift shop things they have. And at the worm farm, all the worms you can eat. So they've, I can't wait to go to that one. I think all the wigglers you can eat, or red worms or something.
I think you'll be making that trip solo.
Key West, that's something we want to do. We've talked about it. We used to live in Key West. We were stationed down there many years ago. Our children, two of our boys were born in Key West, and we can't wait to go back with an RV, but it'll probably have to be in the summer, which seems odd, but in the winter, the snowbirds go down and they kind of homestead the military camps, and we'd like to go to the military camp at Sigsbee Island down in Key West, and we'll have a better chance of finding a slot down there if we go in the summer when the snowbirds go back north. So a lot of the military camps are like that. We haven't figured that whole military paradigm out yet, but in the winter months, the snowbirds come in, the retirees come in, and they homestead for 3-6 months in some of the nicer military parks. Jacksonville, MacDill over in Tampa, Key West. And in the summer months, you have a better chance of getting a just first come, first serve, just roll right in and get a slot. So we'll probably go in the summer next year to Key West. We're looking forward to that. That's something we want to do this year. Another thing we want to do this year is solar. We want to add solar to the RV, get the generator fixed, work it up so it's ready for boondocking. So that's what we're looking at this coming year, and just continue to travel and continue to have a whole lot of fun, which is, it's proven a whole lot of fun this first year.
It's been great.
It has been great. Okay, it's giveaway time. Here's what you do. You go back and watch this video, and you find the time marker at which my coffee mug changed from red to gold. The first time the gold coffee mug appeared in this video, simply put that time marker, 1 minute and 59 seconds, 3 minutes and 14 seconds, 7 minutes and 10 seconds, whatever it was, put it in the comments below. And from all of those who have the correct entry down there, me and Miss Barbara will draw, and we will give away a $25 Gander RV Camping World gift card. So good luck. And by the way, that's not the first time
That's not coffee. That's not coffee.
That's also not the first time the coffee mug appeared as gold in this video. Finally, why do we sign off with fair winds and following seas is a question we get a lot. Me and Miss Barbara were both military. We were both Navy, and it's a nautical blessing. It's been used in just about every retirement ceremony we've ever seen, or when someone changes command or departs a ship. Fair winds and following seas. It's a nautical blessing. Fair winds mean safe journeys, and following seas mean a sea where the waves generally are moving in the same direction as you're heading. And since we're at the end of this video,
until we see you again,
fair winds and following seas. And you're in the drawing. It's a $25 Gander RV Camping World gift card. And by the way, that wasn't...
That's not coffee.
That's not... That's not where the video, where the coffee mug... That's not where the coffee mug changed. You gonna be okay?
I'll be fine.
I'll give you a hint. I winked at you when the coffee mug changed from red to gold.
I was just trying to get into the drawing.
You can't get in the drawing.
Oh, darn it.
Family members not eligible to win.